Hello, hi. So we were away this past weekend. It's still the weekend today because it's a civic day in Canada. Beg your pardon. It's a national holiday, and we went to Sable Beach and great books and had a real good time. Southampton Beach. Saw lest we forget memorial for World War I and World War II. All the Southampton men who fought in the war, and both the wars, who laid down their lives, fighting for a good cause, for a great cause. So it's a beautiful memorial, and if you're ever in Southampton, you know, if it's on the way to the beach. So if you go to the beach, you will see Southampton. The Lest We Forget Memorial and the beach. You could go past for a little distance, you'll see the beach. So, and of course, Sable is a favorite haunt of ours. It was beautiful, lovely summer day, and Great Books is also a favorite haunt. We discovered it one day when it was raining, and we ended up going to Great Books, all right on the spot on six highway. Great Books is located, so they have lunch, and that's the perfect thing, perfect accompaniment to selecting books. All right, so I picked up these two books, Physics as Metaphor, which I'm going to talk about. I've been inspired by. It's by a high school teacher, I think. So this is another book, 15 Canadian poets. Can't go wrong with that. So Physics as Metaphor deals with measurement. All right, so beg your And I read a few pages and stopped at Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. And of course, as the whole principle goes, you cannot measure both the position and the momentum of a quantum particle, because you can measure the position of an electron, but it could be undergoing an electron jump. So then you can only measure its momentum. You cannot measure its position at all. So rather, I thought I would think of an example where measurement is not possible. And I thought, perhaps, let me look at this electron density, which is probably measured by probability function, right? So that cannot be simultaneously measured with the placement of the electrons in the SPDF orbitals. Let me just check. Electron density. And what is electron density? And the definition. Thought definition in chemistry is electron density is a representation of the probability of finding an electron in a specific location, atom or molecule. In general, the electron is more likely to be found in regions with high electron density. So it's basically based on the uncertainty principle, exact location of, so the same thing for an instant in time. So so it is for a system with a single electron density is proportional to the square of its wave function. So we enter Schrodinger's wave function, I guess. I need to look that up. All right, I promise at some point in time, or it's somewhere it's becoming boring. So many movies, so many books, oh, so much of girlfriend, boyfriend, all this mush, romantic mush. The best thing for you to do is to study the electron density for solve it all. All those engineering students. We drove on the way back from Owen Sound to Toronto, stopping at Great Books. So the distance between Owen Sound to Toronto, roughly Bloor Street, is 186 kilometers. Not really. long distance. If you go at 120 kilometers, you would reach Toronto if on a smooth day. I mean, no traffic jam. Not thinking of electron density, traffic jam. You would reach within a couple of hours. But so why is the distance between between Owen Sound and Toronto? Because we were coming back. So dy by dt is the velocity. So on Highway 6, the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour, 80 kilometers per hour, and 60. And then you'll have to switch to 401 East in Guelph, and that's pretty much standard 120 kilometers per hour. So dy by dt, so you would be you would have to have a velocity. So we'll say 100, and then you decelerate to minus 80, and then you accelerate to 100, and then you decelerate to minus 60. So you have so this is the jerk. D cube y by dt cube is the jerk. So this is I don't know what the d4 y by dt4 is called. So it's, I guess, acceleration square maybe, but that would not be right? Square this square. So it would be d square by dt square of acceleration. So change in jerk. Change in jerk is d4 y by dt4. So I took dny by dtn to be 120, 401 east, because these were the only speed limits on Highway 6. So if you were to, so it has to be a function of time. Linear ODE, linear ordinary differential equation. So adding all this, and then this is 120, you get 366 minutes. It's a function of time. So 6.1 hour. And it took that much, but we spent a couple of hours in grade books because it was, the kitchen was closed, lots and lots of people, Sunday, rainy day. So all these small babies and small kids, and so about a couple of hours. So which means that we actually reached in 4.1 hours, but there were delays with the traffic jams. So it all took 6.1 kilometers, 6.1 hours, but fast because of the Jetta people. Jetta, my husband, is in functional mode because his previous more powerful car, Volkswagen, would have taken 6.1 hours. So the Jetta, the new Jetta, it's a 4-cylinder engine. And the Volkswagen Passat is a 6-cylinder engine. So, but that was an old car. This is a new car. So, but so we made it in less than 6.1 hours. But this is the right function of time, unless you consider to when people were switching, when he was switching lanes, when he was following, safe following distance, etc. So that could be, a part of the reason. And then he would go down, I would go down in my calculation to 4.1 hours, as he would have in his driving speed, driving time. All right, so that was an interesting problem. Nth order OD. You should tell your father, I saw an nth, I heard a lady, I heard Gayatri. By now you know my name. I heard Gayatri Visitaram solve an nth order ODE, and I could solve an nth order ODE. And what's in it for me? $100, Dad? Yeah, you better believe it. If he solves his own, if he or she solves his or her own nth order ODE, then you really should shell out a $100. All right. I raised the son, Dad. And I'm partial towards the male sex, all right, because I miss my son. So I'm wearing blues now more often because I hope I'll see my son more often. All right, signing out, Gayatri Sitaram. Thank you.